Never heard that before.
I've never heard that either. That was so loud. Hey guys, welcome back to the Off the Script podcast. We're finally back, and we have Christian Chapman on this time. Joe will be joining shortly. He's currently, I don't know, pooping or something, or peeing, or dealing with some shit. So he will be on then. How's it going, Christian? How you doing?
All good, man. All good. Can't complain. Pretty tired today.
Yeah.
But I think my overall tiredness level since the show have been pretty high.
Yeah, I bet. Like the fatigue finally catching up with you from the past.
Oh, well, I felt fatigued anyway. So I think it takes a lot longer than you think, especially if you're being very controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'd gone out and just like kept eating shit and stuff like that and like bumped my body weight up by 30 pounds, I'd probably feel a bit more normal.
Yeah.
But I still feel like when it gets to the evening time, I'm like, oh.
How many days or weeks post show are you now? Not that many, right? Still
11.
Yeah, so you're still in that like 2-week window, really. So
yeah, and it's
when
like,
you feel it the most, right?
Yeah, I think so. And as we were saying before we hit record, like my hormones are just 1 minute crying, next minute having a wank. Like it's fucked, man. And I don't know if you want to wait for a bit to talk about it, but like the food side of things, it's like my food's decently high. I'm not like, oh my god, I need to eat like hunger.
But you have got some food focus,
bro. It's like I'm still shredded, so I'm going. My body is psychologically, like physiologically hungry.
Yeah.
Your hormones are saying you need to fucking eat, you dickhead.
Yeah.
And it's like, I finish a meal, I could look at the fridge and think I could probably inhale the entire contents of that fridge. I haven't, and I've been incredibly well controlled. Like even Sophie's like, Matt, I can't believe how you've been, because the food is decently high. It's not low food. I'm eating a good amount of food. It's just internally my hormones are saying, bro, eat, man. And I reckon, like, bro, if I started eating shit, it would be very hard to stop at this point.
For sure. There's like,
you've all of a sudden you've got the freedom, quote unquote, to do it, because I'm not prepping.
Yeah.
But I so desperately don't want to fuck up this phase that I won't let it happen.
For sure. I remember like 2019 when I finished up my prep. First thing that happened. Oh, George is joining. Yes, no. Add him in. Yeah, first thing that happened with me was I finished and then we went to Nando's. What's going on, George?
Oh, good evening, young warriors.
Your podcast hopping, mate. How's it going?
Oh, AJ said he was too battered to
Fair enough. Yeah.
So instead.
Yeah. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
I think we're planning tomorrow instead, but I've got legs tomorrow, so I might use the same excuse.
Yeah. We're just talking about Christian's post-show window now, because he's 11 days or whatever post show, and how his body is like telling him one thing and his brain is like, yeah, don't just eat everything. So
yeah. George, post-show, mate, your body is saying, bro, please eat, because you're still shredded. And like, I'm not physically hungry, but my body is like ready to eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's telling me, yo, bro, why aren't you eating more?
I get that. And I see the classic going for a walk after I eat. I used to do that when I came off prep, and because I didn't want to gain weight and I wanted to kind of utilize the food a little bit better. That dies off very quickly. You're realizing, bro, I don't need to be walking about. I need to be putting that energy into my training. I used to do that. Terrible.
I go for a walk after every meal and have done for years, like no matter what. If I don't do anything after a meal, I'll fall asleep.
Dangerous game.
So I kind of do it like, for many reasons. It makes me feel better at the end of the day.
Yeah, I for sure, like going on like 50-minute walks for food partitioning and stuff all the way through prep, all the way through off season makes sense.
In my opinion, it does. Yeah.
But I have absolutely done it where post show window you eat food and I just pass the fuck out. within like 5 minutes of finishing the food. I'm just falling asleep in the chair. Like, well, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm done.
What were you saying about Nando's, Jay?
Oh yes, so post show for me, how mine sort of went was, first thing I did was went to Nando's, and obviously that was immediately post show, and it hadn't sunk into my head yet that I had that freedom, you know. So I remember going, I probably said this on the podcast at some point before, but I was there with Tim Stewart and a couple of other people. Went to Nando's and they're like, what are you having? I was like, oh, maybe I'll just have some chicken thighs and super grain salad. And they're like, you're a dickhead. And they ended up basically forcing me to have a 2-person platter to myself, which I inhaled record time, and I could have done it 2 over. Like it was so easy to get that.
So it's so easy. Like, man, you could like those first couple of days. I was like, you could put anything in front of me right now. If you put like a actual fridge in front of me, I'd eat it. Like you know, there's no satiating you at that point. Once you start,
and you feel like you feel amazing as well. You feel just the energy, like you feel it straight away. And like, especially with the sex drive thing as well, my sex drive came back in almost instantly. Yeah, agreed. Within the span of like 2 days of like, not even like, I wasn't binging, I was eating fairly normal food. Apart from the Nando's, I had a donut and then some fruit juice, and that was it. And then the next day I ate pretty much the same, like normal, like increased food of everything that I'd normally have, and then just like a donut. And I felt like I was like, let's fucking go. And I ended up going on a night out in the first week post show, which is not the best idea, but like that's how you feel. And you know, I'm quite enjoying the challenge though, and I get motivation from, and this sounds so bad, watching others fuck it up post show. Yeah, I do, and I get off on that, and because I'm like, man, like I said to you, George, like Sophie's even saying to me, bro, like, I don't know how you're staying this in control of everything. And I'm just like, I'm so desperate for this phase to go well. Like, I don't want to fuck it up. I was speaking to Joe on check-in this morning. I'm going to have an off-plan meal this weekend. Yeah. Granted. I need to get back into that swing of once per week, I have one, because the longer I put it off, when it does get to that point, fuck me, it will be eating the house. Because I think it's like, once you start, like my plan since like after the show was like, well, just don't start, because then you won't be able to not stop because you haven't started eating the shit. Do you know what I mean? So, but I said to him this morning, like, you know, I'm going to have one just because I know if I keep putting it off, the worse it will be when I do come to have one. Ooh, I'll be like, look at the background. Everything. Jesus. Holy shit. Gang. Feels somewhat professional, but also like a bit bootleg at the same time. The cap's good. Yeah, I think it looks absolutely terrible. It's the fact that it's like not in landscape. If it was in landscape, it might be a bit better, but look at that. Looks like you've just got your computer background and then you've stuck yourself on top of it. How's it going, Joe? You're muted, mate.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Love it.
What's that? Yeah.
There we go. There he is. How's it going, mate? You good?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Feeling
good. George, how are you doing?
Hello.
Good, spot on. I'm all good. Life is just going up.
Yeah.
I'm living off a sort of a natural high right now, obviously, with what's happened with quitting the cannabis. Like, that was a big, I thought, not gonna lie, I'm that type of person that if I see people have problems and stuff, I'm like, they don't know what they're fucking doing, they're taking the piss, they're over the top about it. But when I generally say I had a problem, and I've never really had any problems in my life, that was generally an issue for me. And the first like 4 days, like I actually had a panic attack. I fucked my car just because of that. Like, I actually reversed it into a wall and I was keep on going, and I couldn't control myself. I've never been like that ever. And I think it was just because I was just having withdrawals from when I usually would have, like, let's say a spliff at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It got to a point where I didn't know how to control that side of things when I didn't have it, if that makes sense. Because I'm so used for the past year and a half of having it at that time. Like, your body works so well when it comes to a body clock. So when the first 4 days, I was like, fuck, this is going to be really, really hard. But I battle through it because I'm quite an extreme person. When I want to stop something, I'll stop it. I can stop it just like that.
Yeah.
Normally, someone I should have probably tailored down. I've probably gone from having 7 spliffs or 14 spliffs a week or whatever it was, probably down to 7 a week, then 5, then maybe every other day, that sort of stuff. But I just went completely cold turkey, and
that's just delaying the inevitable. Like, just get it done.
I agree.
Yeah, that's me. I just get it done, and I just ended up stopping. Yeah, it was the first week was hard. The night sweats, awful, horrendous. Just not being able to sleep. Trying to use melatonin, all that sort of stuff, all these different things. But after that first week, it was just wow. Second week was much better. Now I live off a natural high. Like I wake up and I'm not brain fogged, and it's taking me about 5 hours to wake up. Which was always awful. And I'd sometimes have a spliff at like 2 o'clock in the morning as well, and go back to sleep, wake up at 6 again. It's like, fuck me, I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night.
George, I've got to say, you look like healthier in the face. Like, you look more like alive, and
yeah.
Eyes, mate. You look.
Yeah, I used to have horrendous bags underneath my eyes as well, and I noticed like my skin, and just even just how, like, don't get me wrong, on Instagram, YouTube and stuff like that, I try and be, happy. I try and come across more positive, because that's what no one wants to watch fucking negative shit. But generally, like, what you see on Instagram and YouTube, some of it was me just trying to put it on just to try and be happier, when really I was in the gutters. Now you can see, if anyone's been watching recent videos, I'm more energetic, I'm more myself, and yes, it's been great. It's been great.
You tickle me quite a lot with your garden segment with your knife.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Come on. But no, honestly, things have been good, and obviously I had and one thing I spoke to this about AJ on our podcast. It opened up my eyes to just reality. Like, what was I doing in my life? Like, sitting, wasting my life away, because smoking does waste your life away. 110%. You waste so much time doing it. And ever since I've stopped, I've got myself a diary. I've been journal every morning, write out what I need to do for the day in my diary, tick it off when I've done. And I'm so more organized, so more structured. And when I hit the pillow, I'm gone now. It's just, okay, cool, I'm sleep, wake up next day. So my life is completely turned around, completely.
And bro, when you get more productive, and you see the benefits of being more productive, it's addictive.
100%.
Ticking off those boxes, like, fucking yeah, man, look how much fucking shit I've done today. How much can I do tomorrow?
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, exciting things to come. I'm feeling normal again after I spoke to you, Joe, about it, with doctors pissing me about with stomach ulcers. Haven't got a stomach ulcer. You got bacterial infection, this and that. And I'll tell you what, a lot of it is down to stress. I had like this tight, like, pain here. I feel like a constant stitch all the time. And ever since I've become single, moved back home, lived in a better, cleaner environment, and looked after my mental health and my own just hygiene, that has just felt like it's just gone like this, and it's just gone. And I feel totally normal. And I just think it just goes to show how much stress impacts your digestive system, how you feel. Everything. Stress is a massive factor that I used to go, stress. People who are stressed, I take time off work, fucking bullshit in mental health, all that sort of shit is bollocks. But it's a big thing. It really is a big thing. Until you're in that sort of position, you actually realize, fuck, okay, this hits you hard.
That goes for a lot of things. Like I know in my own life, for the past month or so, or even longer than that, I've got into like rhythms in my life and in the way I think that I've really struggled to break. And it takes someone to kick me up the ass and say, you need to stop doing that for me to get out of certain habits and get out of certain things. Because like the biggest thing in my opinion, is recognizing that you have a problem in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the hardest bit. Because like once you know it and you accept it, you could do something about it. But before then, you're like, you just can ignore the issue. So yeah, big up for that.
It's so much easier. When I used to smoke, I used to be like, we'll just smoke. Whatever I'm feeling, just smoke it away. And you're literally just smoking it away. And then all of a sudden you're gone, all of a sudden you're high, and you just don't do anything for the rest of the day. But since I stopped, I looked back and I was reflecting. I was like, what am I doing? Like £400 a month on weed. Like, that's someone's mortgage sometimes.
Bro, George, you've literally just took, that is how much my mortgage is a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what the best thing about it is? I haven't lived there for 7 months.
Yeah.
There's a word. It's literally. I'd rather the weed, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I must admit, I do have moments like I walked past a few boys in the middle of the field yesterday. They were having a little smoke. They must be about 16, and I could smell it, and I was like, oh, that's a smell that I'm familiar with. And but yeah, I brush it off now. I don't even think about it, which is good. I'm 3.5 weeks in, nearly 4 weeks now. Don't think about it.
They say it takes 21 days to create a habit or something. Once you pass that, it's harder to start than it would be to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
And I don't think I'll ever go back.
Do you think you'll ever? Here's a question, right? Do you think you'll ever smoke again? Because I know you've talked about the fact that you're still actually an advocate, but with within reason, right? Like anything you take, there's a limit, So
yeah, I think now at the moment, no, because it's like sort of when I was like 18, 20, and that I used to do the MDMA, I used to get on the packet, that sort of stuff. Used to love all that shit, but it's just a phase in my life. I haven't done that since then, if that makes sense. Yeah. My uni days are over. I've not been back there. I don't drink alcohol anymore. It's just a phase in my life. And I think it's, for me, that 1.5 years that I spent smoking was probably a phase in my life. Don't get me wrong, I see the benefits. Like, it's probably the most beneficial drug I've been able to take in terms of how I feel. Like, don't get me wrong, mate. When I used to fucking smoke, I could last in bed like a fucking steam train. However long you wanted me to last, I'll last. Cool, easy. So there are benefits to it, but at the same time, like, the negatives started outweighing the positives, and for me, it's not worth doing. When it's like that, it's not worth doing. And I'm quite an extreme person. I have an addictive personality. Like, if I do something, I'm fucking taking it to the extreme. I'm not just smoking one spliff a day. I'm going to be doing it bloody every single day at some point. Just like everything I do in my life, it just get like sunbeds. I just recently started sunbed. I told myself I'm going to do it once a week. Just keep on top of the tan. I've been, Thursday? I've been 2-3 times this week. I'm that type of guy, unfortunately. And I know if I do go down the assisted side of things, I'm going to be an extreme fucker when it comes to it. I know I am. But I think the more I've been growing up, the more I've been able to take control of these sort of things. When I was young, I didn't give a fuck. Now I'm getting...
Bro, you'll probably get to a point in your life where it's like, you know what? I can have one spliff this week, and I'm not going to think about it for the rest of the week. I just want one because I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that just comes with, at the end of the day, bro, you are still fucking young, man. That just comes with maturity. And that's not saying that you're not mature, but the older you get, you will get more mature.
The more you know.
Yeah, 100%, 110%. So, yeah, enough about me, boys, and fucking... I feel like I talk for ages sometimes, but that's me.
So I'm going to ask George one more. Question.
Yeah, go on.
I know I've seen your latest video, like 20 pounds down. And like, I think, and again, not a dig. You're not the heaviest person in the world to start with, so that is a considerable chunk. How is it going getting it back on?
Not gonna lie, I've gained about 2-3 pounds since then, but I had a drop this morning. So I'm thinking I need more food. Mentally, it's been more challenging than anything. Like, that was the physique shots I took in my latest video. That was the first time I've seen myself in 3 weeks posing in front of a camera. And I was like, fuck, like, if you look back at 3 weeks ago and look at the body fat that I was holding and the fullness that I was holding, I'm completely different. I look like a completely different person right now. So that's been the biggest barrier for me, more than anything, if I'm honest with you, is knowing that I've lost that amount of weight and I look like that. But I've been training 6 years. I know I'm going to be better than that. And I'm living like a bodybuilder right now. I'm not missing meals. I'm getting in sleep. Like, beforehand, past 6 months, I've not done any of that. That's probably why I had digestive issues, is because I used to smoke and then eat 1,000, 2,000 calories in one go off just junk. And now I've not had a meal plan. I'm sticking to what I know. I'm loving it. My appetite's back. And I know I'm going to surpass where I was before, because that's not a real me. That's just shitty George that used to smoke and binge eat most of the nights. So I know deep down I'm upset. Of course I am. I look at the shots and think, fucking hell, like, I'm so flat from the front. But I know it'll come back very quickly.
Right. And the look when let's say you're 180 versus 180 this time coming up, the look will be so much better, because you've done it properly. Like, I didn't know that, like, the last 6 months it's been a bit like winged or whatever. But bro, like, people laugh, I think, at me, like, how, I am very, very structured and very, very to the plan, because I know what I would look like if I wasn't, even shitter. So I know I have to fucking, like, but at the same time, I also enjoy being like this.
Yeah.
I know how I feel when I eat shit food, and it ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I must admit, I was a lot almost like a part-time bodybuilder, and now I'm like full-time with everything, like full-time this, full-time. I'm treating everything full-time, and I know that's gonna happen. I know me. I know what I can do. It's just fucking doing it. And not gonna lie, I've been in an off season for nearly 2 years. It gets fucking boring. It gets repetitive. It's the same old sort of stuff. It's hard doing it for 2 years. You at first you're excited, like 2 years of growing, but after that year, you're like, fucking hell, this is boring as shit.
Me right now, bro. Right now.
And after a year, you get lazy. You think, oh, I don't need to track anymore because I've been doing it. I know what to eat. And that accountability goes, you start being lazy with other stuff. And then it got to a point where I'm just like what I didn't even track my macros for the past 6 months. I was just eating. Yeah, I was eating. It was like 60-40, I'll be honest with you. 60%, 40% was just shit. And I don't like that. I'm either 100% or nothing. And that showed in my physique, that showed in I made progression. Don't get me wrong, I've eaten shit and being half-hearted, but how far could I be if I was 100%? I could be much further than what I am now, that's for sure. So lesson learned. And I think just actually, not gonna lie, breaking up with my previous has just sorted that right out for me, because I can just be myself and focus on myself. And
well, bro, fucking go and show us, man.
Yeah, man, I am.
I will say, like, obviously you've had a massive change of environment. And yes. I've had that as well, because I've now moved from Birmingham. I'm not in fucking Birmingham anymore. So I'm on the edge of Sheffield, obviously training at Rotherham now full time. And that change in environment was, I knew even before I left Birmingham, I needed it. And now that I'm here, like, it just proves the point. Like, in the span of the past week and a bit that I've been here, I've arguably made more progress, like in terms of knowledge basis and understanding what the fuck I'm actually doing in terms of having purpose behind stuff, than I have in the past like year almost, if I'm honest.
Just going for a piss, lads.
Yeah.
I certainly think from what I've learned so far, being almost 2 years into an off season, I could if I am 110% for probably 16 months or even just a year, I could probably make just as much progress in that year compared to 2 years, because I know I'm very much like that. I'm very, I can commit to it. I've done it and I will commit to it, but I do sometimes get lazy. I must admit, and that's been, I don't know why. I think the smoking played a massive role with that, not gonna lie to you, but I can get lazy with it and think, oh, you know what, I know what to do, I know what to eat, this sort of stuff, but you lose that accountability. Even like missing check-ins with AJ, that sort of stuff. I got into the habits of doing that, and it's just not, I'm just, as someone who's a coach myself, I can't be doing that because I'm setting the standards for others. And,
that's not what George Osborne's about, is it? So
no, it's not. And that's the smoking for you. That changed me it does change you as a person. And I was never honest about that. I'd always just say, oh no, it's totally fine. And the lockdown, I must admit, the lockdowns didn't help, of course. But yeah, now I'm way more clear-headed and I know what I need to do, and I'm just buzzing to do that for sure. 100%, 110%.
Yeah, it's as someone who's also, because I think you probably ended your off season pretty much the same time as me now, so you might have gone on a bit longer than I did, George.
Correct.
So my last show was September, end of September.
Yes.
Yeah. So so anyway, we finished around the same time, and I think at the time I even had it in my head that like I wanted to compete the next year, because the idea of losing that like fire that had been lit under my ass for the past like 6-7 months of dieting kind of scared me. Like, I had it in my head that I wanted to feel that same way all the way through an off season, which is where like the phrase that I coined right at the start came from for me, was like, there is no off season, there's only an on season. And I had that in my head, and I was trying to drill that into my head. Like, you're always getting ready for something, and having that mindset is like, I think super important.
100%.
What we want to do.
110%. And sometimes it doesn't help when you see others come, especially like last year and even like this year, seeing people step on stage. You want to get back on there. I want to get back on there. I see so many people, like even Christian, I followed your prep quite closely, and I've been thinking, I want to get back on stage again. I love the process behind it, because it is boring, the off season. It is, especially as a natural. You don't have that pop like you do when someone starts, a 16-week cycle and they're blowing up, and all of a sudden they've gained 20 pounds and they're leaner than what they were before. You just look like a soft piece of shit. unfortunately, that's a natural side of it, and it is hard mentally to stick to that. But yeah, if I look back now, I think the past 6 months, in fact, if I could have really nailed it, I would be further ahead than what I am now. But I know I can play catch up, and I know if I'm just religious with everything, like I was on my, for example, my prep in 2019, you know, I did a 37-week diet, and I didn't have a meal plan, and I stuck to everything to the T. No, nothing was missed. I can do that in my off season. It's just wanting to do that. So if I have that same mindset, I can do it easily, and I can do that for the next 7 months, 8 months, 9 months easily before I go into a prep.
So that's our fucking promise then on the podcast right here, right now.
Sorry, mate. I'm legit excited to see it. So
yeah, and I learned, even we've spoken about prep so many times before. I made so many fucking mistakes, doing more than what I should have. It was mainly more like towards that, like doing extra set in the gym because I wanted to do a little bit more. But I look back at my 2019 photos now, I think, fuck me, like what was I doing? Yeah, I know I can bring the same condition, but just more muscle on my frame. And if I can do that, perfect.
Same here. That's the exact same thing with me. That's all I want to do. Just bring that condition, maybe a bit leaner if I can. But other than that, I'm not losing mass. I'm going to hold on to everything that I've gained if I can. So
it's quite funny as well. Like post show, I posted like it was about 6 months post show, and I posted up 2 side-by-side photos. Like, look at my progress in the first 6 months of my off season, and people are like, oh my god, you've made so much progress. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's a muscle that I lost in my prep. I've just regained it. I haven't really actually progressed. I've just actually regained the muscle that I've lost in fucking prep because I over dieted and did stupid stuff. So yeah, so many lessons learned, but I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Coming back around to Christian's prep, then he seems to be making all the right choices and none of the mistakes that I think we made probably so far. You seem to have a good run, Christian. Like, obviously, you were speaking before about trying to manage and take advantage of this period of time. So, in terms of like off-plan food, stuff like that. Yeah,
like I can't get away with putting on 25, 30 pounds in 2 weeks and still looking good. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like Brandon Harding saying he's gained 45 pounds in foot. It's absolutely idiotic and fucking stupid.
Yeah, dangerous.
And dangerous. And then putting up pictures of his edema. Remember how many people follow you, you fucking clown. Okay, that's not good. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I know for how lean I was, for how shredded I was, you can really, really badly fuck it up. Because the leaner you are, the harder that fucking pendulum will swing when you fuck it up. And the ability for me to gain fat against someone that wasn't as lean is much, much higher. So I know that I've had to be really controlled, and watching others around me not do it well is only making me do it better, like even more so. And I knew I would be like this, you know. And I also know that when it comes to a free meal this week, it's probably going to be fucking big, okay? But I know that if I keep putting it off and keep putting it off, it's only going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I quite like the protocol of, you go that hard, you put yourself off for some time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, I know nothing bad is going to happen from it, because I know as soon as I get that, I'm not a person, I've never been like this in my entire time doing this, that it would extend to the next day, then the next day. It's an evening and then it's fucking done. Like, I can just literally go, right, next day, we're back on plan standard. So, yeah, I've been enjoying the control though, because I quite like the fact when people are like, fucking hell, mate, like, you've nailed this. I'm like, yeah, I know, because I nailed the prep. Why wouldn't I nail the rest of this?
Yeah.
I like nailing it all year round. And I know that I don't have the genetics to rely on that. I can't not nail it, because if I don't, I'm going to look like a sack of shit.
But
I don't look like a sack of shit. So
some people who haven't prepped, like, I only, like, 2 weeks post show, I gained 10 pounds total in those 2 weeks post show. I still had edema. I still looked watery. I still looked like I was lean, but then I just had a fucking layer of bloat, just a film of just liquid around everything, pretty much, especially around joints, and it was bad. And I had to like hold off for a little while, like before like even pushing food at all.
Yeah, like I obviously had like something off the day of, like after like the day of the show on the night, and then the next day I was like, right, I need to cut myself some slack because I was like scared of having something, and I was just like, man, look, I've just dieted for 28 weeks. Yeah. Give yourself some fucking slack. So, you know, I had an off-plan meal the night after, and bro, I could see it like my calves are perma shredded all year round. Like even like peak off season, they are vascular as fuck, always peel. And I was looking at them and I was like, what has happened to my calves?
I replied to your fucking story of that. I was like, what the fuck?
No, but no, like the couple of days after, bro, they were like just full of fluid. And I was like, man, that does not look good. And I can even tell the picture. Like I took my first pictures on Monday, just gone, so 8 days post show. I was really putting it off. I was like, I don't want to sleep. I know I'm still shredded. I know I am. But the look is completely different, to be fair. And that's obviously coming from an assisted side, taking certain compounds out really, really does fucking alter the look. And I've realized that now. I'm like, fucking hell yeah, I look like softer. It's just not as like fucking hard and grainy and stuff. But I can tell the difference from Monday to today's check-in. Like today, I'm much harder. Like I look better, and that's just from consistency of just staying on the plan of normal food. So yeah,
good stuff. Yeah. So what are you actually going to do then this weekend for off-plan food? What have you got? Have you got anything in mind already, or?
Yeah, I don't really like I do like dirty food, yeah, but I don't. I also hate the way it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Like save that for dessert time. Yeah, for the separate dessert belly. But I really like stuff like Turkish food, like Greek food, stuff like that. And there's a Lebanese place like 5 minutes down the road from here. Nice. So I'm gonna get a Lebanese, and then obviously the unfortunate thing about being sponsored by a cookie company is that the freezer's absolutely stocked full of them. So I'm obviously gonna have to have some. So
yeah, good stuff. That's probably a smart idea, actually, having like because I imagine most Lebanese food is very high fat. That's probably going to blunt your appetite massively.
You know what? It's not like I'll be having like a chicken and lamb shawarma wrap,
okay.
Some rice, fries, like a naan with some tzatziki and stuff like that. So it's nothing like greasy.
Okay.
Because I do like to feel like good after it. Like, but the problem is like me and Soph absolutely love pizza. And but at this, I am really do not want to eat a pizza in front of Soph while she's on prep. Still,
that is fair. That is.
I'm gonna tell you what, I think that's obvious. I think it's helped as well that she is still on prep. That I haven't been like, oh, I want to eat this one, because I don't want to do that in front of her. I don't like that. Like she could do that. It wouldn't bother me the other way around, but I don't know. I don't really agree with it, but.
Holding you accountable somewhat as well.
Yeah, of course. And she's already said like, you know, I hope you know we're having pizza after my show. I was like, yeah, you can have whatever the fuck you want. I was like, yeah, I'll save the pizza till then. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely helped that she's still prepping.
So
sorry, I'm just moving. The Wi-Fi was bad.
Joe, so give us a rundown of what the fuck has been happening with you.
Well, it's like it's water under the bridge. So I'm not going to talk about loads of it, but like So I was dieting from I think like end of May. Yeah. So I'd done 4 weeks of a crash diet or whatever. Things were going really well, as people have said to me, like, you were the best you've looked and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, 100%. But before I started the cut, I was already having like symptoms of a flare up and that. So they put me on some meds, but the previous 12 weeks, I was underdosed on my medication anyway, because my body weight had gone up. They still thought, like the last time I was admitted to hospital, I was still around that weight. even though I was like £26 above, which put me at like the next level of dosaging for the drug. So they fucked up there. So then got put into hospital for a week. Shit just hit the fan. And I came out last Monday on my birthday. And I've still not been able to live a normal life since, really. Food's been literally half a bag of rice twice a day, maybe some honey on there. No protein really. Fuckload of fruit though. And since introducing like fruit, mate, my stomach, the distension has come down so fucking much. Like they thought when I went in, they thought I had like an ulcer like George or whatever. They tried conning me off with as well, alongside my usual stuff. They thought I had an ulcer or was severely constipated and that, and fucking I can tell you it was constipation. Like I use like GI juice and Strom's one and everything, but actually adding more fruit in, like I've spent so much fucking money on organic cherries and pineapple and mango and melon in the past 4 days, and everything seems to be just flushing out of me like really nicely.
It really makes me laugh when I see people like not eating fruit and veg, and then like, you know what, it's actually good for you.
Shock horror. Yeah, it actually has benefit.
Literally, when I see someone's plate and it's just meat and a fucking carb sauce with nothing else, it fucking angers me. It really does. Like, I get really pissed off about it. Yes, George, getting it in. Micronutrition is just as important as your nutrition, and you're explaining the benefits of it right now.
And it's not just a case of having in a greens powder, actual real food.
So many people mess with saying that. Oh, could you not just have a greens powder? Yeah, I could, but I won't. Because I actually like. I hate when people. I hate veg. Yeah. I've never tried any of it. Because I guarantee you will find something you do like.
He probably had a sprout when he was about 7.
Yeah. If you don't like it, then and you need a greens powder, then get the new straw.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
But no, the reason why I'd minimise fruit, and I can't eat much veg, like fibrous veg anyway, just due to the fact that I am so sensitive in that. Yeah. So using the supplement does help there, but I've found out like more vibrant fruits and things like that, of non-acidic sort of fruits as well. So staying away from oranges and lemons and stuff like that has really like helped flush all the shit out. In the past 2 days, like the actual daytime, I've been fine. It's just nighttime has been broken sleep and shit. And like I've been using hang on, 1 second. Oh, fucking hell, where is it?
Joe, on that note, you said about going organic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm still.
Have you gone fully organic?
Well, I try because my time's split between here and Birmingham. My girlfriend's in Worcester anyway. It's like usually 3 to 4 days a week. I always get my meat from butchers anyway. Over there, it's just there's no like local butcher around here that's any good. So most of the time, it's all butcher meat anyway. But I was speaking to Forburn about it the other day and looking at the meat man and seeing what they're sort of doing, like online delivery stuff. And it's relatively priced and it's all organic, grass fed and all that. So I do think it helps. But it's expensive if you're eating a lot of food. But I think if you're investing the money into this anyway, just spend a little bit more.
Yeah, I could not give a shit how much I spend on food. People say how much I spend. I don't work it out because it's making no difference to me anyway. But I know it's a fuck ton.
Yeah,
it's the most expensive part of the life, but you consider it to be like paying rent or something like that.
Yeah. Something that it's necessary, and if you're choosing to do it, you know you're fucking spending money anyway. Yeah. So an extra 20-30 quid on the bill for higher quality food is nothing really.
And like I get that. Look, some people don't earn as much as others. Some people have got commitments with money and stuff like that. But what I will say is, like, if you want to take it seriously and stuff like that, like, and you want to eat better quality food, there's always ways of making money.
Yeah.
It is. Like, look what happened in lockdown. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone all of a sudden got a new job or a new career or something like that. Like, I know a lot of people lost jobs and shit like that, but there was enough going out there to fucking make a living.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think it does make a massive difference in terms of how you feel, but I don't think it's going to make a difference of how you look.
No, I don't think so. I think if you are on the sensitive side, though, you'll notice the difference more so than someone who's got like a gut made of steel. But yes. my digestion, like between 2016 to 2019, was fucking brilliant. But I completely fucked it up by choosing like not enough variation with food. The fact that I had this underlying condition that I didn't know about that got exacerbated from eating fucking tuna bagels 3 times a day while I was at college and things like that. Like a bag of bagels a day, fucking raw, not even toasted. Like it's alongside like maybe going down to the supermarket and having a piece of cake and things like that with the missus and stuff at the time. But you don't think about it. And then when I started learning more about nutrition and decided to actually invest my fucking time and money into, learning more about micronutrition and then thus going on to a degree now with strength and conditioning and nutrition, you find out so much stuff that's not publicized at all. And you actually start to take care and fucking respect the fact that you're mortal. You don't abuse you. But if you're going into bodybuilding, don't fuck up your body. You got one chance. Like now, the thought of me competing next year is sort of gone completely out of my head. And yeah, it's probably because I'm in a negative mindset at the minute because I'm pissed off and frustrated at the situation coming away from something that's been going so well for like 6 weeks. But at the end of the day, if I can't stay healthy, I can't do it. So my advice for anyone out there is just fucking invest in yourself, and you'll see the rewards either way. So
I definitely like the idea, Jay, of like varying food sources and not just sticking to. I am like a stickler for the same thing, because I'm very much, when I find something I like, I don't want to change.
Well, it's like an exercise.
Like even
find that one
like towards the end of prep, I was doing like,
run the wheels off.
What happened there? Are we back on?
We're back. Yeah, we were. I was like, what the is going on? Okay, Christian, go.
Like even towards the end of prep, like where I'd normally be like scared to change something because, oh my god, my digestion's going to go. Like I was using like different protein sources like all the time, and it made fuck all different. But it made adhering to something a lot easier and probably made me feel better. Because I remember the last time I dieted down, every time I ate chicken, I would literally piss out water. Shit out water, piss out water. And it would just give me the brown rain immediately. So I was like, I was trying different types of fish. I was trying different types of like lean meats and stuff like that. And it was good, man. And I'm really, really, really want to do that because I have the opportunity now because I have more food to fucking play with, and not be so rigid with like, okay, this meal is this. I always have that every day. Like last night, I just changed like the carb source, and it sounds like, oh well, why couldn't like anyone can just change what they're eating? But when you're such a stickler for routine, I'm really glad I can pull myself out of it and stuff and try different things, because at the end of the day, I love food. And trying new things is really fucking fun to me. I enjoy it.
Your story, Christian, is an inspiration not only to me, but most people who are looking at trying and figuring out new fucking food combos. Every time there's a new is sauce combo, a new cream of rice. I watched the whole fucking review of you doing your fucking maple bacon one. I was like,
good. But I am a bit of a nightmare when it comes to that, because, and Soph will fully agree with this, I am a bit of a hoarder when it comes to like food and dark chocolate, almond butter. Like it's an obsession. It's like, George, when you were saying you got an obsessive personality, it's like, right, I've added cereals back into my diet post-workout. I'm going to buy every single variant of fucking cereals and put it all in the cupboard. Like, I'm just it's a bit, I think, is that, I wouldn't class it as a food focused thing. I just like food and I want to try everything. And now that like you have like
with the lifestyle, food is one of the bits of freedom that we actually do get. So we don't get it with the training because we don't instinctively train. The four of us fucking program everything. So when we have the chance to get a bit adventurous with food, it's like fucking hell, I'm Gordon Ramsay. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the variants, and I am absolutely loving bagels at the moment. They're my jam at the moment.
Bagels and jam.
Just love them. No, I have them savoury.
Yeah, me too, man. Bit of Kerrygold on there. There you go.
See, I'm completely the opposite. Unless someone buys me something new to try, I won't try it. I stick to what I know. And we spoke about obviously the bodybuilding side of things and how obviously doing things right and stuff like that. But also long term, like my dog, on the other hand, like he has a better diet than 80% of most people on this fucking planet. And I don't do that because I do that because I just want him to live a healthy, better life. You know, I want him, like, his fur's a lot healthier. He's more muscular than what he was before when we first had him. All these different things, it plays a massive part. And I've actually gone, I'd say about 90% organic. There's obviously some things that I do eat that isn't organic, but it is what it is. But I get all my meats from the butchers, all that sort of stuff now, and it's one of the best things I've done. It really is. And yeah, it's expensive, and my dog's diet is definitely expensive. But when I think about it, like, he's got 10, 12, 13 years to live. I want him to make sure that he's got the best life possible instead of having fucking dry fucking food that you see. I mean, no disrespect to people who do that, but I just think, like, would you give your kids that? Would you give your kids a really shit, boring, bland, unhealthy diet?
George, the problem is most people fucking do.
Most people do, which is the sad part.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I agree. Like, the logic for doing that is nonsensical.
Yeah,
that's your classic English Wednesday night when you're like 11 years old. Fish fingers, smiles, and beans.
Yeah, just sugar and carbs.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah. I hate that, George. Like, I hate seeing dogs fucking eating like kibble and shit, and it's the equivalent of just eating Mackies all day, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it's shit. And look, if you look, I know we're talking about dog poo now, but just look at dogs, their poos when they eat dry food, and then compare it to raw food. I promise you, their poos are drastically different. Drastically different. Like, Diesel does not have any runny poos at all. He has solid, healthy, hard poos all the time, and that is, it's such a game changer. Such a game changer, even for your dog, not only for humans. Yeah. I can't stress how important that is.
And on the flip side, why would you not try and apply that own logic to yourself?
Yeah. It was like one thing I was doing, like February, March time, was like trying organ meats and stuff, like liver and kidneys and all that. Mate, I felt fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
The diversity of that.
Mixing protein sources. So I was having like chicken livers and a bit of steak and stuff. Your body's producing different enzymes to break that food down as well. You know, and if you're just eating chicken or on its own, you know, it's like when we talked to Joe Binley last year, and he was like, combine your protein sources, like have chicken and have prawns and have some food from fucking over here in the mountains and have this from the sea and things like that. It makes a lot of sense when you actually look into it as well.
I could somewhat apply that logic at the minute. So my rest day, like today's rest day, I will have a variation of salmon. I'll have some actual red meat, and if I can, I'll have some poultry or something.
Yeah.
And I try and follow that like every single day to the best degree I can. And that has massively improved my sort of issues with bloating, because I used to have that. I used to be a bit of a bloat lord. That's pulled my waist in massively. So that has actually had a visual effect, and I'm in the off season. Like,
one thing I've done as well before we move on to questions is I've tried to limit the usage of the microwave when it comes to food. So I'm doing everything either in the oven and temperature checking it, like, instead of like, oh, it's all right. And yeah, it's probably extreme, but I think it's necessary, especially in the position I'm in at the minute. Like, even rice and stuff, I've not been using the bag ones. I've been getting the fresh shit, putting it in the rice cooker, doing it, mixing it with oil, blah, 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 doing that. A couple of before I went in, even then, it was oats are on the hob. Even the small amount I was having, oats are on the hob, chicken was on the hob or in the oven, fish was on the grill, you know, salmon was in the active fryer and all this shit. So just trying to stay away from the microwave, even with cream of rice. Like I was doing it in the pan for a while, and I didn't quite get it perfectly right because it's fucking hard. But it's just something that I've noticed has reduced more systemic inflammation and things like that. So
Interesting.
100%. I actually do mine in the pan. I reheat all my stuff in a pan. I just I cook, I just put it in a pan, put it on there for 5 minutes, and it's much better than the radiation shit you probably get from the microwave. I'm sure that can't be healthy.
Well, food is like when you microwave something, after you've taken out, the food is still cooking for a good amount of time. So a lot of the time people end up eating microwave food and it's still literally cooking inside their stomach.
Yeah.
I really despise, sorry if any of you guys do it. George, I reckon you do. Like packet rice, it fucking angers me.
I just had some packet rice actually.
Fuck you, bro.
I just got a massive bag of sushi rice.
Rice cooker is the way forward.
I've had a rice cooker for ages, but I don't know. I'm like George sometimes. I just can't be asked. I was just like, oh fuck it, in the mic, don't matter. Right.
I'm saying that I actually boiled some rice earlier, simply because I didn't have microwave rice. But my last meal, I must admit, the convenience of it is good. I can see. If anything, I would rather put that in a pan and heat it up like that than put it in the microwave, because at the end of the day, like when you're putting in microwave and it's come out piping hot, I'm sure there's the nutritional value of that food is declining just through the sheer heat it's at in the microwave. I'm sure there's something to do with that. Yeah, literally. So I must admit, sometimes I'm a bit of a lazy bastard when it comes to that, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Want to do some questions to finish?
Yeah, let's
do questions.
Right. So we got a nice variation. Thoughts on fasted workouts? Go to you, Christian, because I know you did it a lot last year. So
yeah, I cannot stand the people that think that it's like all of a sudden not optimal. You're going to be weak. You've got to eat loads the night before. I'm pretty sure my last meal of the day was actually protein fat when I was doing it. It makes a buckle difference. Okay, I hate when people are, oh man, got to have a heavy carb meal the night before. Why have you? It's the whole day of fucking food that makes a difference, not one meal of the night before.
I have a question though. Do you have intra?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, my suggestion would be for anyone who wants to train fasting and get out of the way first thing, and I was doing it mainly due to workload and stuff like that, to be able to fit everything in. And you know what? I fucking really enjoyed it, and my workouts were great. I wasn't going in there demotivated after a shit day at work and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, my advice. Like a litre to a litre and a half of fluid. As everyone froze?
Oh, no, you're on.
I think we're back now.
Yeah. On wake, immediately, a litre to a litre and a half of water before you've even got to the fucking gym. Yeah. Have your intra ready. Start sipping it as you get to the gym. Aim to finish it halfway, 3/4 way for your workout. Go to post-workout. It's done. What was the question though?
Your thoughts on fasted workout?
Have we lost him?
My thoughts are it's really good if you
What is
thoughts on it are it's really good. Oh my god, this is annoying me.
I'll give you my thoughts. I think it's down to the person and when they work best. Like if you work best in the morning and you train well in the morning, fucking continue doing it. I must admit, I think if you are in an off season and, for example, you have a big meal the night before, I don't think it makes much difference. Nutritional timing in off season isn't as important in a deficit. I think if you have a bigger meal in a deficit pre-bed, then I think that will have a better response in your training first thing in the morning. Again, it's down to the individual itself. All it is trial and error. Trial it. If you perform better eating a bigger meal before you go to bed, try it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But I would certainly say I can see the benefits being in a diet and eating a bigger meal before bed. Whereas in an off season, at the end of the day, if you're eating 600, 700 grams of carbs a day, it ain't gonna fucking matter. You know, you're still gonna have glycogen takes a long time to fucking digest and actually efficiently use it, depending on what you're eating, of course. You know, something like take up to 48 hours. But I certainly believe when you're more sensitive to food, that sort of timing plays a bigger role. And in natural bodybuilding, even if it is 1%, and this is what I say sometimes to my clients, they think, oh, why am I doing this for? And I'm thinking, yeah, it might be 1%, but that 1% in natural bodybuilding is quite a big chunk. You know, it can be different from first and second place. Assist, on the other hand, maybe a little bit different, but certainly it makes a difference in the diet, I would say.
I would also agree. And yeah, 100% glucose variability, like based on what phase you're in terms of diet and trade stuff, it makes a big difference. And obviously if you're pounding like a literal kilo of carbohydrate, no, of course not. What difference does it make at that point? So yeah agree.
Tips on shaving the ring piece.
I'll show you. This is on prep. This is what I used to do, and I'm actually by my mirror right now. I don't know if you can see this.
This is getting clipped, you know, George.
This is going on the Instagram.
Well, look, you can see my nuts and that. I'm not wearing any box shorts, so I used to actually bend over like that, and I used to just go like that.
I did the exact same thing.
Yep. You're better off doing it in a mirror. Trust me. Get a razor. You're better off doing it in a mirror, or get your missus to do it if she wants to.
Christian,
what was the question? You broke up when you were asking it.
Oh, tips on shaving a ring piece.
Put a razor down there.
Solid, yeah.
And also remember, look, do you have to shave your ring piece before you get on stage? No, because you are wearing pants. You know that, yeah? Like, it's not that fucking, like, I would just get as close to it as I felt comfortable.
This is bodybuilding. We're not strippers. We don't wear G-strings.
Correct. Well, mine basically was, but
yeah, mine was, to be fair. I did stick mine up my ass a fair bit.
Get yourself. Oh, you can't see it. Fuck's sake. Get yourself one of them.
Yes, one blades. One blades are great, mate. I've got mine.
Pink Lady Shaver, Philips Lady Shaver, 20 quid from Amazon. Best one.
Yes, George, love that.
Best one I've used.
Oh, Christian as well. Speaking of shavers, my missus got me a skull shaver for my birthday. It's fucking brilliant, man.
Really good, mate. I've never had a closer shave on my head.
Great.
I get it.
Yeah. Just a shout out to them. Right. Strength gains, but no visual difference in muscle mass. Why?
Okay.
Well,
just training for strength, maybe.
Yeah, he's not. I know the person who's asked the question. Muscle takes longer to accrue than strength does. If you're looking
you
muscle
are
gain in
waiting,
4 weeks,
you're going to be waiting months to be able to see anything.
Yeah, I think what I meant by that comment at first, right, is that obviously if you're training in a capacity with the goal of going for strength, don't expect to see loads of results for hypertrophy. You know what I mean? Especially, like, obviously you got to take into account like caloric needs, all that good stuff. If you're prioritizing anything other than accruing tissue, really, are you going to expect to get a ton of tissue? Probably not. So
yeah, and the thing is, like, yeah, you might be gaining strength, but if you're still leaving 10 reps in reserve on those sets, and you're not training with any intensity, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if the intensity is not there, I mean, there is truth in the statement intensity builds density, as like overused and slightly corny that is. Like, there is truth in that. So
yes.
Yep.
I agree.
Here we go. And the final one from me, from Mr. Off. Proudest achievement in your life? Fucking hell.
Christ.
I'm not sorry, Mr. Off. I hate these questions because, like, I've got loads of things that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
There'll probably be one more next week. You know what I mean? Like,
I've got a few graduating from university. Even though I fucking hated it, I stuck with it. I'm quite someone who's quite consistent. I did fitness management and personal training at university, and I wanted to own a gym beforehand when I went, and I learned fuck all from it, other than I already know this stuff by the end of the 3 years.
Yeah.
I've always been quite, not ahead of the game, but I've been so invested in bodybuilding from a young age that when it came to PTing in the gym, I was like someone's coming to me and teaching me how to, like, I actually, my first time around, my PT qualification, I failed it because someone asked me how to actually technically use a rowing machine. And I was like, shit, I actually don't know, because the people that I work with I expect them to know that already. So I was kind of ahead of that sort of game. And yeah, you need to know that, but I was like, do I really need to know that? It's not something that interests me. And then I just, from there, I just absolutely hated it, but I was able to ride it out, and I would have been disappointed if I dropped out when I did, but I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. So yeah, definitely university through the tough times, and I was a bit suicidal at university as well. Fucking lonely as fuck when in my second year, my friends in my second year left me on my own, and I had to find a house with random strangers on my own for the final year, and I hated it. I was 2 hours away from home, couldn't just pop home, and yeah, it was a fucking tough year, but I grinded through them. Bit like that, like with everything in life, I'll just grind through it, whether it's low, really low. I just don't give up, sort of thing. So yeah, that's probably my biggest achievement.
Good shit, man. Wow. Yeah.
How deep is that? Fucking hell.
For me, I was just thinking about this. I'm somewhat similar to Christian in that I'm proud of a lot of things, and there's probably not one thing, but if I could pick a defining moment, it would be 16-year-old fat fuck Jermaine and sticking out in the gym for those first 2 weeks, because it changed your life. Like, yeah. I after that first 6 months, and like I'd started, like that first 6 months, I just started A-level pretty much, and by halfway through A-level, I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I had it in my head. I was like, I want to get into this industry, and as a result, that my calling completely flipped. And yeah, that's probably it for me, for sure. What about you, Joe?
Telling my fucking ego to calm down and actually go back to uni after dropping out before. So obviously I was doing marketing in 2018. Noted, yeah, 2018. Fuck knows. Did a couple of months. Wasn't for me. Same reasons as George, but I actually realised, like, this is a waste of time and a waste of money. I can do this without the degree. I can still do digital marketing on my own without sitting fucking 40 hours a week in classroom writing a load of shit that I don't care about. And then from that, you know, I was 18, you know, I was naive, thinking, oh, money will come anyway. So I had myself a job for a little bit, dead end job, shit. And then decided, you know what, fuck it, let me go back and actually do something I want to pursue, which, you know, is to do with training and programming and nutrition and stuff like that. So yeah, probably going back to and telling myself it's not me going backwards, because I've already been there before. It's one thing, one hurdle I've always had a problem with, is actually starting something I've already done before at a different stage in my life. Because it always feels like a regression, but then again, it's a regression for a week, and then you've progressed more than you have in the past 2 years. So probably that, but if you ask me again in 6 months' time, and I'm getting ready for a fucking show, that will be my proudest achievement, due to the fact that I've said, fuck this. Don't give a shit if I've got an illness or not. This is what I want to do. Win, lose or draw, I'm doing it. Even if I have to do it once, that's it. That's all I want. So,
yeah, good shit. I'd agree. I think even my prep, I didn't think I'd be able to last as long as what I did. Becoming a robot, I did stuff that I thought I never could do, and it just show. So yeah, 100. I agree with that. I understand that.
Any closing thoughts from anyone?
Oh,
any words of wisdom?
Tell you what, it feels good to be back.
It's true. It's been too long, man.
Yeah. For all the viewers who don't know, but I imagine a lot of you do because you probably follow us. Obviously, I've spent the past however many months finishing up my degree, handing my dissertation, all that shit. I'm about to graduate, so I've finished up everything now. I've moved back to Sheffield, and then Joe's obviously been really fucking ill, so it's been difficult with schedules. But now, yeah, we're back on it, back on our bullshit. and ready to pump out a bunch of like good podcasts.
Yeah, I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure to be invited back on. I've been on a few times, of course, and being one of the first ones back, I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, it felt appropriate actually, considering like how much change you've had in the past couple of weeks. You as well. You as well, mate.
Thank you for that, boys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, good shit. All right, shall we wrap it up?
Let's do it, man.
Joe, you wrap it up. I started it. It feels right that you end it.
What episode are we on? I want to do it properly.
39?
39. Hang on.
Check Spotify for me.
Let me check. Now, the Spotify numbers are all wrong. Hang on.
Are they?
Yeah, because I only upload the... I didn't upload the stage talk onto there.
For fuck's sake.
So...
It's 30... It would be 39 on Spotify.
Episode...
It's probably like episode, what, 40-something?
45.
45, all right.
Right. People, thanks for tuning in to episode 45 of the Off-Script podcast with myself, Jermaine, Christian, and George. It's been a pleasure, boys, and I'm sure we'll talk together in the future again.
Yeah. Sounds good. Peace out, Girl Scouts.